So this week's video is my sourdough experiment. I have wanted to do it for quite a while now, and yeah, it's definitely an experiment, that's for sure. I hope you enjoy. $50 grams of water. No more touching. Way. Way too much water. Yeah. That was 80 grams. 61. Start over. All right. 0. 48. 50 grams of flour. Hey, Doodle. Thank you. Again. Close enough. And then move your face, please. Thank you. Water and flour together. Mix it up. Put a lid on it. And that's our sourdough starter. Now we just leave it there. And then we'll feed it tomorrow. Day 2, feed it 30 grams of water. And 30 grams of flour. Stir it up real good. Yeah, babies. And cover it with cheesecloth. There we go. Okay, so it is day 9 of my starter. Eileen Food Bod sourdough. I'll put a link down below. She says if your starter's ready on day 7, you can go ahead and start using it. My starter, I mean, it's getting there. She's got bubbles. But I'm going to go for 2 weeks before I start feeding it. So I'm going to feed it every day, and every other day discard about half or so, keeping it between 100 and 150 grams, like the website instructions say. So yesterday I discarded half and fed it 30 grams of flour, 30 grams of water. So I'm just going to do that again today and keep going until it's been 14 days, and then I will start using it. So I really want to make sure that it gets nice and established before I start using it. My kitchen can be a little bit colder. Okay, so it's day 14 of the sourdough experiment. I'm just gonna scoot you over. So I'm gonna feed my sourdough 30 grams of water, 30 grams of flour, and then in a couple hours I'm gonna come back and we're gonna make our first loaf of bread. There's our water, flour. It's been a couple hours, and so now I'm going to follow the instructions. Again, I'll link below to the recipe, the website that I'm following. Only need 50 grams of starter. Another 250, so 500 grams of flour. teaspoon and a half. Mix it all together.
Mommy.
Yes.
I'm not.
It's pretty. I would call it kind of scraggly, shaggy. It's not perfectly together, but that's okay. Now, this can go in the fridge. This is going to sit on the counter for an hour or so. And I'll be back then. So it's been an hour and, well, a little over. And I've just followed the instructions and I've taken the saran wrap off, and then you lift and fold the dough. And you literally just take your hand in, lift it up, fold it over to the other side of the bowl about 20-25 times. And now it's covered again, and I'm going to do it a couple more times over the next couple hours. So it is the next day, and I baked my bread this morning, and I think it's pretty safe to say that the all-purpose white sourdough starter that I made is in fact a bust. It is useless. I'll cut it open in a second, but luckily I have this rye flour sourdough starter going. And when I fed it yesterday, you can see how much it grew. It grew twice as much in volume. So I'm going to continue the experiment with that one. I'll cut this open and we can see what's inside. Inside, and it's very moist. I'm not entirely sure it actually cooked all the way either. I did the cold oven start. Yeah, from a cold start. And I think that's part of the issue, but also the fact that there's no sourdoughness to my all-purpose flour starter. So that one's going to get chucked, but we will continue with our rye flour. So one thing I have kind of figured out in my sourdough is the instructions say to boil and cool your water. And I have found that with my well water, that's actually super important. Because I did feed this a couple times with just tap water, and it did not do as well on those days. So I'm going to make a loaf now with my rye starter, and I'm going to boil my water before I get started. And hopefully that makes a difference with this loaf of bread this time. It is finally time to try a whole loaf with our rye sourdough starter. A little extra. Not gonna hurt nobody. Go ahead, lift it, fold it to the other side of the bowl. I forgot to film putting it in the pan and putting it in the oven, but my loaf using the rye flour starter is done and cooled, and I mean, it's clearly got some air bubbles in it. It rose. while it was cooking, but it's still very dense, and it's a little bit almost gummy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some bread flour. I've been using all-purpose flour. And I'm going to try a few more experiments and see how it goes. So while, now that I've eaten peas, the bread isn't the prettiest. There's obviously some technical issues, but it actually does have a really good sourdough taste. And so I'm on the right path. We're getting there. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. But at least it tastes good. Thanks for watching my sourdough experiment. This is part 1. I'm going to continue to use my rye sourdough starter and make some more loaves. And there'll be at least another video sometime in the future on how it goes. Thank you for watching again. If you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.